dude? Like, what I'm supposed to do? Push him or something? Like, what you want me to do? Like, bro, don't even speak English. It's not for me to say. I don't walk with a translator.
Do you care though, deep down, about getting that lick back sometime at some point?
Honestly, bro, if you really want my honest opinion,
Yeah.
no. I really don't. Now, when the fight makes sense, I'm jumping on it because it's gonna sell. It's gonna sell. Understand what I'm saying? It's gonna sell. But honestly, I'm not thinking about, bro. Only time I bring up his name is when y'all bring him up. I gotta answer a question.
Am I tripping though? I feel like a Michael Jordan, a Tom Brady, that's something they would care about. Like I gotta.
You just said two different people that's not in our sport, sir.
Yeah, but you know, a winner, competitor's a competitor, no matter what, any sport.
When the fight makes sense, I'm gonna jump on that fight because it's going to sell. I'm not jumping on it right now because it's not gonna sell.
Keyshawn Davis picked the best nickname humanly possible, the businessman, because that's what I just heard, a businessman. He's talking about Andy Cruz. Do I want to fight him? No, I don't really care. The fight doesn't represent a lot of money right now. Man, oh man. Now, where do I really even start? I got that I'm keeping in the dark. Yeah, right? Where do I really even start to break this down? You guys heard the clip at the beginning. Keyshawn Davis in a media day as he prepares for Dennis Barancang, he was asked good questions by the media, in my opinion. And his name, they're attaching Andy Cruz to it because there's a built-in storyline. It makes sense. You know, this guy beat you 4 times in the amateurs. Do you want that lick back? You know, I'm paraphrasing. Keyshawn, you heard it. He says no. He said, to be honest with you, no. Man, this generation is washed. Some good little fighters, but this is washed. Now, the boxing reporter, Sean Zettel, kind of proceeded to ask follow-up questions, which is good. A lot of people don't do that when a fighter says X, Y, and Z. Sometimes fighters will just say whatever, and then the media just like allows it. I don't know if they're scared or I don't know. But this boxing reporter did different. Zettel says, is that a bit weird though? You know, I would imagine Tom Brady or Michael Jordan or whoever, you know, Kobe Bryant. If Kobe Bryant lost to the Celtics, you absolutely know it would haunt him until he sees them again, right? That's the difference between the Mamba mentality and this BS that Keyshawn just said, right? And that's the reality of it. The reason I know this is because I study Kobe Bryant. He's one of my favorite, right? So he's done interviews, and when he shot air balls or lost to the Celtics, it made him dig down and like work harder waiting for the rematch, right? He said his first game or one of his youth games, he didn't score a single basket and started crying. His dad said, I love you whether you score 100 or 80, it don't matter. And Kobe was like, that gave him confidence to know he can mess up and he would still be loved. But he's like, F that, I'm trying to score 80 now. And he just got wicked with basketball and studied his craft, right? But now you have a young Keyshawn Davis who's saying, honestly, no, he doesn't care about getting revenge or avenging a loss in the amateurs. Not 1, but 4. I mean, this is unheard of territory to me. And then the excuse he gave was the fight won't make money. Like, again, when I talk about boxing and politics and, you know, the business of boxing, as a YouTuber and a content creator, some of y'all get mad. Like, when I don't see the same value as Crawford when he hasn't cleaned out 154, only got 1 fight there, moving up to fight Canelo, I'm not excited, right? And I tell you why. To me, is like, why should Crawford cut in the line from, you know, the Benavidez, Morrell winner, you know, other big names, Better Be of Beevil winner, who want to fight Canelo as well, and they're closer in weight to him and maybe have history, or there's been a want and desire there to allow Crawford to move up and we just got to believe that his skills will translate in the higher weights and he's the same exact fighter, you know. But somehow, some way, Keyshawn and Shakur, I told you, this whole crew, they all seem to act the same way. They all understand the business for Bud getting the Canelo fight, whereas the rest of the world, many people who are not diehard Bud buddies are like, it's kind of a weird fight. You know, Crawford got skills, he's a great fighter, but you're putting him up against it in terms of weight. But now when it comes to Andy Cruz, the guy who beat you 4 times, you almost seem like, and I've already made a video about how Shakur and Keyshawn, in my opinion, were being hypocritical. They don't want to be attached to Tito Mercados and Andy Cruz, but both of them keep attaching themselves to Tank Davis, Gervonta Davis. And they don't see anything wrong with that. They think they're on Tank's level, and the business for the businessman Keyshawn makes all the sense in the world for Keyshawn to get Gervonta Davis, and he don't even have 20 fights to his name, and he did $1 million gate with Gustavo Lemos. That makes sense. But then the guy you have history with, you're saying, oh, the fight won't sell. So it's funny that people call up and comers, things like that, clout chasers, but Shakur and Keyshawn, they don't see themselves as clout chasers. Keyshawn literally has 12 fights, right? And his last performance was really good, but his 3 performances before that were mid. I mean, the Pedraza fight was cool, but Pedraza to me was washed, and you know, I didn't really value that. But the Medueno and Nahir Albright, he didn't look that great. You know, he left more to be desired, and both those fights went the distance. People have been a bit brainwashed because he did so good with Gustavo Lemos that they forgot about everything else. And if we're really being real, who the is Gustavo Lemos? He had 1 fight that people know about and lost, and that was to Richardson Hitchens. Good effort. Some people thought he could have won, but he lost. On paper, he lost. I don't care. I'm not arguing. Oh, he gave Hitchens. He lost. The judges said he lost. His box rec said he lost. He was coming off a loss. He's lost. Period. And then now again, you got Keyshawn talking about, why should I fight Cruz now? I'll jump on it when it makes sense and stuff like that. But then again, let it be Gervonta Davis. They want him to fight everybody from 130 to dang near Edgar Berlanga, 168, because Berlanga, Crawford, all these guys have seemingly had some kind of beef, even in higher weight classes, lower weight classes like Ray Ford. You know, all these people beefing with Tank, and he's supposed to fight everybody. And it makes sense for the A side to bow down and, you know, go to a weight class that Ryan Garcia wants, that I guess would benefit him because he's the bigger guy. All this stuff doesn't make sense. But then you guys accept Keyshawn Davis telling you what he just said regarding Andy Cruz. Why should I fight him? I don't really care. It's not going to make no money. I mean, when did you guys say you enjoyed fighters talking about the business and politics of the fight not being made, rather than, yeah, line him up, I'll fight him? Now, leave the business and politics to the promoters and content creators like myself. I'll tell you about the business because I've been in the business longer than Keyshawn has been a pro fighter, right? So I could tell you about the business of boxing and, you know, some of the things I've seen and heard and events I went to, etc. So I feel like the business is more the lane of content creators that know the business, such as myself, or promoters at best. You don't really want to hear the fighters talking like that. Like, yeah, this guy beat me 4 times, but I really don't even care about him. The only time I bring him up is when you guys ask me about him. Sounds pretty weird. And I think this attitude from Gen Z fighters, the young fighters under 30, really hurts boxing. Like, as the reporter Zattel said, I mean, wouldn't a Jordan or Kobe or Tom Brady want to get that get back? If you got kicked out the playoffs because of the Green Bay Packers or KC Chiefs beat you in the Super Bowl, that seems a given. I'm not even a fighter. I'm not the boxer, and I'm hella competitive. You know what I mean? So if there's a competition that makes sense and like somebody beat me and bested me crazy, yeah, I want my lick back. That's just me as who I am. So how does a fighter not have that burning fire? And he's talking about, oh, the money don't make sense and stuff. How do you know if you haven't been in negotiations with him? I would pay for the fight. You know, if they're putting you in with Dennis Baranchenk or Andy Cruz, and I had the pick as a consumer, I would pick. I don't care about the belt. I care about the history and the backstory. I told you belts don't matter. You guys will see. The belts are just trinkets in addition. You know, people pay for what they want. If they want to see Keyshawn fight Andy Cruz and feel it's a good fight and there's going to be tension, that's what they're going to pay for. They're not going to be like, oh, but Dennis Baranchenk has a belt from beating Navarrete. If you're a casual fan, you wouldn't even know that type of stuff. That's how I know what I'm saying is true. If you're a casual, you're not even involved in boxing to the point where you even seen Dennis Baranchenk's last fight with Navarrete where he claimed the title. So you would only know at best the bigger names, or even if you didn't know an Andy Cruz, somebody can fill you in like, hey, there's a clip of Snoop Dogg. Bow wow. 9-4 plus 5 penny. Add that up, nephew. Right? There's a clip of Snoop and Keyshawn, and he's getting danced on by Andy Cruz, and Snoop and Kevin Hart were hosting the Olympics and they were roasting Keyshawn for it. So even as a casual, you have visual cues. You could go look at that and be like, oh, that was a funny clip. This the guy he's fighting? Cool. There's no real, like, that I know about history other than Dennis Baranchenk has a belt. And that's what they're selling you on. So Keyshawn talking about business, this and that. What he's saying don't make sense. I'm a consumer. I tell you what to do because I tell you what I'm willing to pay for or not. Everything else, you're lucky Baranchenk is free, you know? And I probably, to be honest, I don't even know if I'm finna watch it because it's on Valentine's Day. Your boy Ego be on a date. I'm gonna be out of here probably. You know what I mean? He's fighting on a Friday on Valentine's Day. That's also my parents' anniversary. So I'm probably not even watching it, to be honest. That's just keeping it real with you. So yeah, Keyshawn on his own. If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I can provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself, especially if you're new. But even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate. So ultimately you can realize all of your online goals. Use my affiliate link in the description and grow your channel fast.